today. One more to go. Loading. Got it nice and full. Actually a little bit too full. Neighboring farmer stopped and we were standing here talking. I was standing by his truck and next thing I know, I looked up and there was corn rolling off the side of the truck. So looks like I get to be the operator of the scoop shovel today. Well, good morning. Today we just took a load of corn in, so it's about 10:30 now, but hauling corn is getting boring for me, so I haven't really been recording it for you because I don't want to make boring videos. But hauled a load of corn in this morning, and now I'm getting all the fuel tanks empty. Now the reason I'm getting them all empty is I'm planning on moving all of them. So moving them from one end of the farm to the other, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get back here, and we're getting so many fuel tanks back here that when you back out of that shed, you got to worry about backing into them. So I'm going to move them where I can just pull up beside them and not have to worry about backing into them, and also won't have to worry about getting turned around because it's kind of tight back there with a semi getting turned around. When it gets muddy, you get stuck back there with a semi, so just moving them where it's easier to get to them. Fix that problem. This is a job I don't enjoy doing. Never a fun job. We're making a dent in here. Long ways to go though. You know what really annoys me? COVID. COVID. COVID.
On Monday, the U.S. government announced
all three stations. I understand it's a problem, but shut up between COVID and politics and go on and live your life. Getting sick and tired of hearing about it. Well, this stuff here is not the prettiest grain because the fan has been blowing all the trash to this side of the corn. But we're gonna get the rest of this out of here. Blend it off with another bin. I'm gonna run 2 bins at once, that way this stuff isn't all completely going in. We'll blend it off with some clean corn so it doesn't look so bad. Well, good morning. Today's my wife's birthday, so I'm not doing a whole lot today. I don't really have a whole lot that's a pressing matter that needs done anyhow, but I am gonna back this tractor out of the shop. It's raining really good right now, and it'll get a pre-soak wash, so that's what I'm doing right now. It's safe to say that I won't be doing any ditch work down there anytime soon. It's a little bit flooded this morning. Also got a new camera, so these videos should be a little bit higher quality and a little more wide angle now, just because I got a new camera. So it's actually a new phone, not a new camera, but I record all these videos off my phone because I don't want to mess with pulling footage off of 16 GoPros at the end of the day every day. Well, the cows got some ground feed, so they're happy. They're nice and shiny right now. We got a nice rain shower this afternoon. Even Mama's coming up with a calf. They're happy cows. Even the bull's getting in on the action. And they've ate those 2 hay bales that I fed the other day, so feed 2 more tomorrow morning. They're still chewing on the grass out here some, but they're really starting to eat on the hay, so I guess it's that time of the year, we'll start feeding more and more of it. But they got that one ate completely down, more or less, and about the same with that. So we'll feed them a couple more. It rained enough that we've got a nice sized pond out here. Normally that's the pond, but right now we've got that one too. There's a terrace there. Drain tile's struggling to keep up, it looks like, which is absolutely fine. Not gonna hurt a thing because we just got about 3 inches of rain really quickly. So turned out to be a nice day today, but I'm gonna run down here and check the water gates, check the fence gates, and make sure we're still gonna have electric fence, and then I'm gonna go eat a birthday dinner with my wife and her family. Well, good morning, everybody. It's about 11:30 and I've killed an entire morning sitting in the office, so I feel like I need to go do something now. I've been doing stuff all morning, but I just don't feel productive if I'm not outside. It's a beautiful 55 degrees sunny day today, so we're gonna go do some ranching stuff. They want to go for a ride too. We'll take some ground feed out here and make some cows happy this morning. Then we got to drop the bucket off the little 100-horse loader tractor and feed a couple bales of hay. See, they're all currently down at that feed bunk. So I got the buckets out, trying to fake them out, get them to come up here. They're all down there ticked off because there's no feed in that bunk. It looks like they're starting to get the memo. They're headed up this way now. Don't look at me, it's that way. Come on. Come on. Now we're figuring it out. Oh yeah, getting that good stuff. Once they figure it out, they'll all come running. Oh yeah. All right, we got our bucket off. So you could say I kicked the bucket, and now we got our forks on. I would go pick up a bale, but that tire looked awful flat, so I'm gonna throw a little bit of air in that before I pop it off the bead trying to pick up a hay bale. Because those hay bales are pretty heavy. They're a 5x6.5 bale, but they are a soft core, so they're not quite as dense as what guys with newer balers have, but the cows still eat them, so say they're doing the job. All right, I cheated a little bit because if we couldn't get to the valve stem, or if it was in an inconvenient spot, you just use the loader and you pick up the front end of the tractor so you can just roll the tires over. It's the easy way to do it, at least. It's like a homemade jack stand. All right, our tire now has pressure, so we can actually use the loader now. Once we get done feeding a couple bales, we're gonna pick up all 4 fuel tanks and move them to the other side of the farm somewhere easier to get to, we'll say. What a rookie. I killed the tractor when I went to pull back forward, but this thing's also a gutless piece of crap, so. New equipment does not have the low-end torque that like that old equipment has. Granted, that thing's got a lot more horsepower than this tractor, but still, you can lug that motor a little bit and it won't die. You can't lug these motors. If they're not running like 1/2 to 3/4 throttle, they're just gutless. Like they've got no power at low RPM whatsoever. That's why I do prefer the 5.9 Cummins that's just strictly mechanical fuel system and strictly just raw horsepower that's in the 5230, the little Maxim we've got. If that thing was full-wheel drive and had a cab and a loader on it, we wouldn't need this tractor at all. And honestly, I would prefer that tractor over this one any day. It's just 2-wheel drive and doesn't have a loader on it. Bale number 1 fed. Already going right to it. Now, what I would like to see, this isn't a very good view of them, but there are 2 bull calves right there that I want to get to go in that corral. I want to start getting them where they're eating in there instead of the little calves, because if I can get them in there, I can get them caught and get them hauled off. They're the ones that keep running right through the fence like it's not even on. And trust me, I've been shocked by that fence. It's definitely on. It is definitely on. It does not feel good. Well, there's bale number 2 for them, but they're a little occupied with bale number 1 right now, so I'm sure they'll get curious and wander over there. But those 3 little bull calves there, they need to find a new home. And I was really hoping to catch them in that pen today, because if I can catch them in that pen, they're gonna stay in that pen. And then I'm gonna go get the livestock trailer, and they're going in that, and they're going to the sale barn. All right, here's fuel tank number 1 out of 3. Got 3 to go. Or fuel tank 1 out of 4, how's that? Now, as an added bonus to this video, I'm gonna show you guys some carpentry skills. Now, overkill is underrated, so that's why when I cut up wood, I like to use a steel Farm Boss 380. Works great for cutting, you know, whatever you need to cut. Oh yeah, it's gonna send it. All right, 2 quick cuts, and we have some wooden posts that we can set our fuel tanks on to keep them out of the dirt. Now, yeah, they'll eventually rot, but I don't really have concrete right now, so that's a problem for a different day. Well, we really made a mess out of things, but the first tank's set. There's a slab of concrete here with a board sitting on it, so it'll keep the tank out of the mud. And then got a old block of coal back there, board sitting on that, so the boards aren't actually in the mud, and neither is the tank. I do want to scoot it this way just a little bit, but I think we're going to call that good for the first one. Now that concrete pad doesn't go all the way back, so that's why I've got that block under there. The tank is leaning this way, that way I can get it completely empty. However, I do think that'll settle a little bit, which I want, because I don't want it to be leaning like this. Honestly, if it settles out and it sets level, I'm happy with that, but I do know that that will probably settle. Granted, that tank is empty right now, and we're getting ready to put a second one on it too, so first one's done. All right, we've got fuel tank 2, and this one's still got some fuel in it, but not much. I'm gonna have to wrap my chain around the opposite, well, I'm gonna have to head the tractor towards me to get this thing in there the right direction, but we'll get her figured out. Well, we still need to do a little bit of maneuvering, but not too bad. Pretty much got this one set where I wanted it to. Okay, we're on our last one. Got them all nice and lined up. I'm gonna hand dig that dirt out there. There's concrete underneath it, so it'll give you a nice walkway through the middle for the fuel guy to fill the tanks up. And then I'm gonna dribble some gravel around here just so you're not walking in the mud. Honestly, I might just get a load of gravel and pull the driveway out this much further, because I'll be making a muddy mess of this driving equipment swinging in here all the time. So if I just put some gravel down here, I'd say I'd be a lot better off. All right, we've got all 4 tanks moved now. Now all I've got to do is put a little gravel and Quikrete in the bottom. They're mostly concreted underneath anyhow. All 4 tanks are sitting on a concrete pad. But I would like to take some Quikrete around the edges of them scoop some of that dirt out and put cinder blocks around and kind of have a dike built around. That way, if one would ever leak, it's not going to have fuel running everywhere. So I'm going to do that. I am technically still under the amount of gallons that you're allowed in our county or the state, I guess, to need a dike. So I don't need one for what I've got here, but I'd still like to have one just in case. So we've got farm diesel, road diesel for the semi, and then gas. Now, I keep the shop locked most of the time, so how I'm gonna wire this, which the wires already ran underground, I forgot to mention that, but I'm gonna pull the wire up, put a box out here with an outlet that is waterproof, where it will trip the breaker rather than burning itself up. But I'm gonna put that on a switch in the shop. That way you've got to go into the shop to turn the fuel tanks on. That way I won't have fuel stolen. Like I said, I keep the shop locked almost all the time, so that way people can't go in, flip the switch, and get fuel. Because back before I lived here, we did have fuel go missing from time to time. And it was never a lot, but it did happen. Up next, we're doing something that I never enjoy doing, but it needs done. I enjoy the end result, but not doing it. And that's washing equipment. See if this thing will start. She's a little cold, but not too bad. Kick her tool up here and get her washed off. Doesn't that just look better with those 4 tanks there? It'll look a lot better when I get some fresh gravel around here and do a little dirt work, but everything's a muddy mess around here right now. I'm in desperate need of gravel and grass seed, but unfortunately we're too far along this year that I think grass seed's gonna do any good whatsoever, so we'll wait till next spring and seed the crap out of stuff. Also, I'm liking this wide angle camera. Would you guys rather me record videos like this or zoomed out like this? Personally, I kind of like it zoomed out like this, but I can always zoom in or zoom way out. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys would prefer. Yeah, see, I was gonna wash equipment, but you can't work on an empty stomach. We're gonna get ourselves a nice burger, some fries, and then probably go work on the grain leg instead of washing equipment anyhow, because I just really don't feel like doing it. All right, I'll show you guys what I'm up to here. That wire right there came completely apart inside the bin motor. Now, I was lucky enough that I was able to grab it with a pair of pliers and pull it out and get a connector on it. It's far from perfect, but it is running, and that's all that matters. So the cover's gone for this. Who knows where it's at? It wasn't on here when I started renting this place, so I don't know where it's at, but I made my own cover out of a roll of electrical tape. You gotta do what you gotta do. Next up, we're gonna take these amazing channel locks that I just bought, stick them on that pulley, and try and get that auger turning, because I haven't been able to pull anything out of that bin yet. So that's next. Wiring works like a charm. All right, that's the first bin cleaned out here. 3 more to go. This one's emptying as we speak. We're just about full, and I'm out of breath because I got in the grain bin to sweep and wasn't paying attention, and I ran the truck over. as you can see. So I've been cleaning up that mess. Luckily, when this runs over, it runs over right next to the pit where you dump the truck, so don't have too far to shovel it, but still a pain in the butt, and I wish I wouldn't have done it. So even us professional amateurs make mistakes every now and then. Got the hiccups too. So since that bin's completely empty, getting started on the next one. We've got it pulled down enough where I can get the door open. We got the second sump, well, right on the other side of that door opened up, so we'll be running the sweep in this one probably first thing Monday, because not a whole lot more corn's gonna come out of here before we're gonna have to keep the sweep on. So I don't know, we'll get maybe half a semi load out, but after that, we'll probably be running the sweep. It will. Fun times. Well, when your drain plug's stuck in there real good, you know the drill. Stick 2 wrenches together. And that's why I have busted knuckles. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I think you tap the... Let's see here. I think I did that right. Info. 100% oil life remaining. She's like a new pickup again with close to 150,000 miles. But I didn't even spill any oil. I do put a lot of miles on my pickups, and they are hard miles too, so I don't recommend buying a vehicle that I've owned before. I'm just throwing that out there. I run them pretty hard. Now that said, yes, I do run them pretty hard, but I also do the service and take care of them. I just changed the oil, blew out the air filters, made sure the transmission oil was up to snuff, checked all the tire pressures, and that pickup's good to go. So I also greased the front end on them, but these don't have near the grease fittings that the older style pickups do. My favorite pickup I've ever had was a 2005 Chevy Silverado. It's one of the cat eye styles, and I loved that pickup. I wish I never would have sold it, but it had a rear seal going out on the motor. I didn't want to mess with it, so I sold it. I wish I never would have. That thing was a tank. It was just a great vehicle. I love that thing, and I love the looks of them too, but I really like the body style of these GMCs, so that's what I've got now. But in between this one and that Chevy, I did have a Ford. It was an F-250 single cab 6.4 manual 2010. It was cool, but it was a money pit. That was kind of my young dumb kid throw money at truck. So yeah, those will bankrupt you. So I recommend staying away from crazy women, souped up diesel pickups, and side by sides. That's 3 things that'll drain your bank accounts, and you can take that to the bank.